Angels, it's coming towards the sign of Aries for the month of December 2022. Angels, what's coming towards the sign of Aries for the month of December 2022? Angels, what's coming towards the sign of Aries for the month of December 2022? Alright. Overall energy. We have the King of Cups in reverse. Crossing over you. Crossing over you. That was the Hangman card in reverse. Well, actually, it's the Hangman card, both reverse and upright. And at your head, for Aries, at your head, we have the World card in reverse. And at your feet, that is the Ten of Swords in reverse. And recent past, that is the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. Immediate future for the month of December. Death card in the reverse. Immediate future. And your attitude. Your attitude. Well, my attitude is the Judgment card in the upright, as all the cards fall all over the place. Oh, I also see the King of Swords in reverse here. That was one card that was flipped over, so we're going to read that as well as far as your attitude. Okay. Alright, and your environment. For your environment, is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. And your hopes and fears, that is the Ace of Cups in the upright. Outcome is the Eight of Swords in reverse. Under the deck, Sun in reverse. Okay, so overall here with the King of Cups in the reverse as your overall energy, and this is your energy throughout the month. Not getting too overly emotional about what might be going on, especially with what's surrounding you here with the Knight of Pentacles. So you understand that you are on a transitional track right now. You are just about to complete a cycle. Very recently there has been some kind of material offer that has come into your life, or some kind of sign from the universe that you've seen that is telling you, yes, this is a new beginning that is happening now, and now I'm just kind of starting to, in my life, clean up all the tying up all the loose ends that I need to in order to move forward and transform my life. And that's really what is at your head with the World card throughout the month. So at your head, you truly are just in your mind understanding that things are good around you, but they're about to get really good, and all of those things that you have gone through in the past are all for a reason, and you're about to learn this lesson, and you're consciously moving through the month of December knowing that, yes, I am learning these lessons, and I'm on the cusp of learning this lesson, and it's really going to transform my entire world. And with the King of Cups here, you've learned that taking any kinds of offers from anyone, or waiting on offers as far as from a, I want to say, materialistic standpoint. So it could be like job offers or something of that nature, or offers of building upon a relationship with individuals. So you might be like seeing multiple individuals at the same time, let's say like dating and stuff like that, and you're seeing that there are potentials out there around you, but they're not like making any like moves to further, let's say, this type of relationship, or further, or make you an offer in this type of job position that you might be in, or making you being anything but just, let's say, platonic friends. And your energy with the King of Cups in reverse is like, you really are not letting that affect your confidence or really affect you whatsoever. You're kind of over it. The Ten of Swords in the reverse at your feet. You're over it. All of the pain that you experienced in the past, with your recent past of being the Ace of Pentacles card, there has been some kind of offer that kind of potentially came out of nowhere. It could be from a person, it could be from a job or something like that, but I want to say I'm getting the feeling, like a major feeling of either job or relationship, however this might relate to your situation. These cards can definitely speak to a lot of different things, like a certain card could speak to whether it be maybe a relationship or a job situation or something like that. It could speak to multiple things, just depending on what all the nature of the other cards are in the different positions on the table. But the Ten of Swords in reverse being like basically it's actually like one of two, one of the just the only minor arcana card, sword card here. Well, with the exception of the Eight of Swords, but they're both in reverse. So it's like you're basically over all of like the hurt words and things of that nature, and you're looking at like just cutting off, like being like less emotional about things with the King of Cups in the reverse, like not taking any of these like things like in the past like to heart. You're kind of over what, like maybe any hurtful things or backstabbing that might have happened to you from other individuals. And now I feel like with the Death in reverse, again, you're just like in this internal transformation, and this being in your immediate future, there is going to be some kind of a sign or some kind of a move that's going to happen. So whether it's going to be like a move to another job, or a move in some kind of your emotional connection to someone else, like in a relationship, like maybe that relationship goes to the next level. I'm not seeing like marriage at all, but it could be that. But it is some kind of like a major development between you and the situation that you're like dealing with. And again, with the Ten of Swords in the reverse, you're over any kind of past issues. So maybe there was like some kind of hurtful things that maybe coworkers perhaps might have said to you in the environment, or people in relationships that might have said things to you that you've kind of held on to. But with the Death card in the reverse, you are basically changing the way you see these types of things that have happened to you in the past, and you're like using them to like transform yourself and not take these things to heart with the Ten of Swords in the reverse. And that is really like your strength throughout the month too. So your strength and power is not taking anything, like not being overly emotional about anything, being very cool, calm, collected, and controlled. And also anything anyone throws at you as far as like insults, hate, this and that or the other thing, criticisms, just letting it run off your shoulders and not dealing with that either. The Hangman card crossing over you, both in the reverse and the upright, is that you're kind of taking your past experiences, I'm feeling, with this Ace of Pentacles in your recent past, as well as the World card too, and understanding that you are at a crossroads and this cycle is about to end, and you're having to relearn perhaps some lessons that you had to learn in the past. You are seeing things in a different perspective with the Hangman card, but also waiting back and watching how things unfold. When we look at the Hangman in the upright, it's kind of sort of you implementing as well how the things that you've witnessed in the past, taking those lessons and applying what you've learned from those lessons to the present moment. And so that's what I think you're doing throughout this month to help aid you in this transformation. And what is it that you're doing, and what is it that you've learned, and how has that affected your attitude and forward movement throughout the month, as far as like how you've seen things done in the past and what you have learned and how to apply that. King of Swords in reverse in the Judgment as far as your attitude. I'm definitely getting the feeling that you have made a decision. You've made a decision about something, and your attitude really is that you are decisive and you don't really care like whose feelings it might hurt, but you're just really putting yourself first. And that is a good thing. You're surrounded by the Knight of Pentacles, so you're surrounded by people that have a lot to offer, but they're not making the moves. They don't have the guts or anything like that. So you're just like, in this judgment, with this Judgment card, you're like, I have to make these strategic decisions, and I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to be an asshole or mean about it. With the King of Swords in the reverse, but I could be like, there's a risk of you basically being very too cold hearted and confrontational and standoffish, but you're not necessarily have to do that. But at the same time, you're not really being apologetic for putting yourself first and making these cool, hard, calm and collected decisions to make these changes that you have to, whether you have to cut people out in order to pursue more of a higher level with another person, or you have to cut out different side positions that you might be having in order to take a promotion at a job, and that might affect some other people in these other, maybe side hustles that you might have been taking on that puts them in an awkward predicament. You are just basically understanding that you are in a transformational period, and you've got to do what you got to do to survive, and other people's feelings really they just need to grow up and deal with it, and that's okay. Like that's kind of your attitude, and to each their own. It's your prerogative. I'm not seeing anything here it's like making people upset, because clearly Knight of Pentacles in reverse, they're not doing anything about it. So if people that are surrounding you have a lot to offer, maybe you're making a lot of promises but just stagnant and not doing anything about it, why should you really care about their feelings and moving on when they don't value themselves enough to take the next step? Or they don't value themselves enough to have the confidence to take the next step with you, or they don't value you enough to take the next step with you. So you're really just putting yourself out there first, and the Ace of Cups in the upright, as far as your hopes and fears. You are basically hoping for the best in this upcoming situation that you are approaching right now, and that's completely good. You're going to put your whole heart into it. You're going to put yourself completely emotionally into it. King of Cups as your overall energy in the reverse is the only other cup card on the table, along with this Ace of Cups, is that you are clearly closing your heart out and closing your emotional investment out on everything that has been in the past, coming up until this point, and you are clearly opening yourself up to new opportunities when it comes to emotional connection, whether it be an emotional connection with clients at your job, or a new job, or love in and of itself. And ultimately, your outcome is the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this whole process here is basically going to clear your mind, increase your confidence, and you might be questioning whether or not throughout the month this is the right thing to do, this is the right approach, this is so different, I have not been doing it this way for this long. By the end, you're going to understand, yes, this is actually what I had to do. I'm at ease about the decision that I made and the approach that I've been taking, and this is what had to be done, and you're going to get some kind of confirmation of that, or at least have that feeling that yes, things are all falling into place. There was no need to worry, and I was essentially holding myself back in my thought process and approach to things. You tried a little bit of a different approach very recently in the recent past. It came through. That offer did come through based on your changed approach. And then by the end of the month in December, you're going to say to yourself, oh wow, yeah, I was holding myself back, and now I'm thinking a lot clearly. And I'm not having to worry about this. I'm going to approach things in this new mindset. I'm not going to be stuck in the old mindset anymore. And overall underlying energy, is the sun in the reverse. Throughout the month, I think what's going to be happening here is that you might have a sense of not appreciating the good things that are around you. And the sun in reverse is a good card in both the upright and the reverse, but there is a sense of like, yes, everything is perfect, and there's a lot of joy, and you're feeling a lot of joy, but don't take any of that joy for granted. So like, the sun in reverse is really saying just appreciate the little things too, even when everything can't be appreciated, so nothing's ever going to go in anyone's way 100% of the time. But when that happens and 90% of the stuff sucks, there's always a 10%. There's always 10% of stuff that's really awesome, and so what you want to do is amplify that for a day, a week, or what have you, and say, it was really great experience that I had doing, taking myself out to dinner or watching the game or having a few beers with the boys this week. My whole other week sucked at work, but I want to focus on what was really awesome this week and some of the hilarious conversations that we had. And that's kind of the trick to using that sun card, to seeing what the sun card and reverse card means, is that it's sort of like you don't underappreciate the little things. Overall, you're going to have a lot of joy this month because you're seeing yourself go through this transformation and you're changing your approach to dealing with people. Just don't get frustrated and lost that everything isn't working out as perfectly as you would hope. That doesn't mean that you're doing the wrong thing. It just means that you win some and you lose some here and there. These little battles don't equate to ultimately the end of the war, which is basically your own personal internal transformation in your approach to how you deal with other people from a career or a relationship standpoint. And so thank you. That's what I have for you guys. Have a great month. See you in January 2023.